Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode in beautiful Geisel, Austria, where we battle the forces of nature like gravity and summer heat. Yeah, any case, I have managed to patch up the tire on the Mercedes, but I still need to get it down to the valley for a thorough service. So yeah, I'm gonna clear it off. I should probably do that outside, shouldn't I? In any case, the plan for today is to take the Mercedes down to get it serviced. I gotta... I want to spread some manure today to use up everything before the next evaluation comes, because I don't want to get fined again as I have previously, because I've had too much manure in. My management was bad, so yeah, I want to repeat that. Okay. Blow you off. Perfect. There are some clouds looming overhead, but yeah. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that we have like a bunch of grass in the drying silo. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it was close. We have a bunch of grass in the drying silo, so that needs to be, well, the thing is, for our cattle it's better to feed them with clover hay or alfalfa hay, but we mainly still have a whole lot of regular hay in the silo, and I would like to sell that to the animal dealers. Now, one approach is that I borrow a huge forage wagon, for example, and I just take load after load down to the animal dealers. Another approach would be to bale the stuff, because as you have seen in form of bales, we can transport a whole lot of liters in one go. Technically, if we make, for example, 8 big bales by 9,000 liters of hay, we can transport 72,000 liters in one go, and I think 2 trips would actually take care of all that. Which we could never take with a forage wagon. We would be driving up and down all the time. So I've been looking around if I could borrow a baler that you can drop hay from the top and it just bales stuff. That would be perfect. But I couldn't really find anything useful. I don't know how I'm gonna tackle this. There's another thing. This Mercedes has a broken steering linkage, and it said that it was gonna pull a bit, and it does. So just for demonstration, if there's nobody around, if I straighten the steering wheel as it should be, the tractor turns left. So this is the straight steering wheel, you can see it, and I gotta keep it like this to go straight. So yeah, the steering linkage is damaged, and for some reason the red engine light just turned on, bottom right corner next to the speed indicator, and my top speed is lower than it should be. Well, fingers crossed that we make it down to the shop Don't know what else to say. Yeah. This really is a tough series. A tough little country to be a farmer in. Look at that, just in time. It's 2 minutes to 9 o'clock when the vehicle shop opens. And there's the bell on the church, signaling it's about to be 9. Alright, so I'm gonna put it straight into the service bay and have a few words with the service engineer, the manager, and we'll see what we can do. I know for a fact about the 3 faults while we brought it here, but everything, if there's anything else still hidden, I don't really know about that. So I'm gonna have them do another thorough checkup and they can do what they do with the tractor. So yeah, give me a few minutes and I'll return in a GFE. Alrighty, I've ordered a full defectoscopy on the Mercedes, paid $220 for that. It's gonna take them about 4 hours to check every single part and do the measurements. And I have also ordered them to fix anything they find broken. So yeah, I previously brought down my Fanta and it's still here. Awesome. So this is gonna be my way back up to the... and get out there. Yes, I can. Alright, let's unlock it. Yeah, this is gonna be my workhorse, not the hearse. What in the world? This is gonna be my workhorse for today. So another thing I've been toying with, an idea, is that we can put winter wheat or winter barley in the ground at around in September and October. And if we do that, we would be putting the same type of crop in the field that we harvested. That's the one that we're gonna spread manure in today, which I don't think it's a really good idea because crop rotation is a thing, and to prevent the soil from depleting of the same types of nutrients, it's a lot better if you rotate the crops. For example, we had I think winter barley in, and there is a calculator with which you can check what kinds of things would be appropriate to put in the ground next. So when I come up to the farm, I think we're gonna go through that just so we plan a little bit how we're gonna tackle the future crops. The field that's north of us that was empty this year, that one can be whatever we want because it was resting for a year, and I think that counts as okay. But the other one, the one in the valley, might be better if we put something more oily in it. For example, oilseed radish, not oilseed radish, oilseed rape or canola. Maybe we can put in corn. I don't know, but I'll have to check and go through the options together and I'll decide. And you can still comment what do you think about it, what would be the appropriate next crop for the field. I think I noticed a slight pull on this tractor also. I don't know. Okay, so I've been on the phone with Dad and I asked about the solid, well, manure spreader. Fertilizer, of course, yeah, it's natural fertilizer. And he said that that's quite a big trailer. It holds around 10,000 liters. So he didn't have to go up and down the mountain as much. But it's a bit of a struggle for this Fendt. And he suggested... Excuse me, I have to sneeze. And he suggested that I take the Steyr tractor just to be safe, so I don't overload the tractor anymore. And this is exactly what I'm gonna do. Gotta pay heed to what the father says. And let me just take this front loader arm off. I don't think I'm gonna need it anytime soon. But if I do, I can always put it back on. Alright, so the trailer, the manure spreader, is at that shed in the middle of that meadow on our left. Let's go fetch it out. Yeah, there it is. It's right in front of us. Yeah, it is quite a big trailer. Gotta be careful I don't hit the beam. Alright, we are close enough. Alrighty. While we're here, I haven't been in this shed since I was a kid. I wonder what's in here. Yeah, a bunch of junk. What I thought. Some old tires, rust, dirt, bags, even a chair. What? Make my way in. What? There's a Jeep in here? The original one. What in the world? Yeah, there is a key. Is there a key? Let me try and start it up. Nothing. It's completely dead. Alright, well, I know exactly what I'm doing during the winter. This is gonna be a restoration project. Unglaublich. Okay, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna whoop my father's ass. he never even mentioned this. How or when he got it? Is it even his? What in the world? But I don't have time to do anything about it today, and I also have to clean up all the stuff that's in there, but that's a pleasant surprise. I'll be honest, I haven't expected anything like this in that shed. I was expecting maybe an old plow or maybe, I don't know, old fertilizer spreader or something like that. Some equipment that isn't used anymore. Well, technically there was a bunch of equipment that isn't used anymore, and also a car from... what is that? World War? Oh, I think it's later on. I don't even know, I'm gonna have to check. The secrets of the Alpine Farm. Alright, so I said I'm gonna check the crop rotation calendar, so let's do that before we continue with anything else. And I think I'm gonna have a seat right here. There's pleasant 24 degrees Celsius today, so it's not too hot. Just a good place to sit on. I always liked this when I was younger. So you can lean onto the house and just watch the mountains and the valley. This is also a very nice place in the evening. Alright, I'm rambling. Let's get to the point. Alright, so this is the harvest history. The below data is used by the crop rotation policy. When planning the next crop to go in a field, ensure you pick a different one to the most recent shown below to remain compliant. So we had winter barley in 61 and also in 62. Why doesn't it count? I got no idea, honestly. So let's just check the field numbers to be sure. 61 and 62, yeah, they both had winter barley in. Huh, strange. And field number 133 had nothing in it, that's true. That's 133, 130, I don't even know what that is. And clover, alfalfa, and clover in fields 107 through 114. I don't think I'm gonna be changing these fields. Maybe I'll put field 113 back to grass and just leave it be. And I won't harvest it anymore because you've seen that we got a lot of stuff. Okay, so crop rotation. As a policy, information crop rotation requires rotating crops between fields and seasons to maintain soil fertility, break pests and disease cycles, improve nutrient balance, and protect long-term yields. Next evaluation date is August, so that's going to be in 1 year from today. The report shows total of compliant and non-compliant land, 0. That's funny. Right, so field number 61, I do wanna, 61 is the biggest, right? 61, yeah. I wanna put maybe mustard. There has to be something in that's not a cereal crop, I think. So we can go with olives. No. I think I'm gonna go with canola. Yeah. This one is not. This one is more of an oily crop. Yeah, something doesn't seem to register here. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna put canola in field 61, and we're gonna put. Do we turn one of these fields into arable fields? I could technically turn field number 107 into an arable field. I want to keep this one as grass, as feed. I also want to keep field number 113 as a feed field. We could turn 111 or 107 into an arable field. I think 107 is going to be better for the combine, so yeah, I just might do that. So this is going to be canola. This is going to be winter wheat, I guess, to switch it up a bit. And this one is also going to be winter wheat. Is that compliant? This is canola. We're going to return the lease on this field. We're not going to keep it anymore. We're going to turn 107 into winter wheat. And we're going to turn 133 into winter wheat. All right. Yeah, I think that's a plan. In any case, let me get the Zittelmeyer so we can load the manure up, and then we're gonna be on our way to spread some shit. Always wanted to say that. I was too scared. I was gonna get banned. I guess that's not an unfriendly word. Alright. Beautiful old Zittelmeyer. I received one comment on YouTube that I should buy a different combine, and I totally agree. Preferably something that's made to level itself out on inclines like we have here, because that's gonna make harvest first of all easier, and it's gonna make it better because the combine has to be pretty much level for it to extract the most grain out of the crop that you harvest. Yeah, that would be nice. And another nice thing would be maybe a telehandler, something dedicated with a bit more weight to it, a bit more power, longer reach. That means that I could bring the trailer down here and I could just put bales through that door. And that would be job done. I believe this is gonna take around 10 scoops to fill, and I'll see you when done. it, the trailer is properly loaded. As you can see, there's a bunch of material in. This really is a big one. It would be too big for the old Fend, I believe. Yeah, father was right. I didn't even doubt him because there's no reason to doubt him. He knows the equipment best, so yeah. So let's see how this tractor handles it. The weight, yeah, pretty good. 70% load on the engine. I guess I'm one of those people that when they buy a new car or a new tractor, they want to keep it nice and shiny, use it as rarely as possible. And I guess that just ain't gonna be the case here because we don't have the strong and, well, powerful enough equipment for the things we want to do. So this tractor is gonna get a lot of work, a lot to do. Not a problem, it's just something I need to sort out in my mind. My attitude towards it. Alright, so let's get to work. What speed do I want to go at? Maybe 8? 8 seems appropriate. PTO on, and away we go. Spreading rumors. If you have had the experience that anyone was spreading rumors about you, this is a visual representation of what that is. Spreading muck. On a more serious topic, since we have 10,000 liters of manure with us, I'm hoping we actually cover the whole field with one trailer. That would be very, very nice. Alright, so when we come to the end, stop the PTO, turn around, and let's see. Will I jackknife? No. Perfect. Okay, and PTO back on. Let's go. Right. Managed to do it with one trailer. So now I understand why Dad chose this big piece of kit, even though the tractors were not up to it. Maybe a good decision on the transporting part, and maybe a bad decision on keeping equipment in working order part. But hey, the spreader was part of the farm, so I don't think there's anything wrong with using it. And with this, we have finished the field, and we still have some manure in. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna go back up to the field in question, and I'm gonna see how far I get with these 1,600 and something liters, and I'll then decide how much more I have to put in the trailer to finish that field, because I don't want to have muck lying around in this trailer, you know. It's just a no. Okay, I just gotten the notification, the Mercedes-Benz truck inspection completed. 3 issues detected, so okay, that's the same as mine. 2,511 to fix it. Yikes. Yeah, the money keeps trickling down and trickling down, so I really do hope our cows are gonna have young fairly fast, so fairly quick, so we can start selling some dairy. I'm pushing the engine too much. So we can start selling milk. That will be a good bonus, I think, to our economy. And I also want to sell the main part of the stored hay, as I've talked in the beginning of this episode. But I still have to find a way to put that into bales. I really don't want to dump it on the ground and then just drive over with the baler. That's not something I think is appropriate. But if all else fails, who knows? Okay, so we are very close to that field already. And it's this turning over here. It's a very steep one. And now we're coming to the field in question. This is it. This is the one. Oh, let's start spreading and see how far we get. It looks like we're gonna make almost exactly one pass. And empty. Yeah. So this looks like exactly almost one pass. So that's 2, 3, 4 buckets here. 5, 6. I'm gonna load 7 more buckets of manure in. We're gonna finish this field, hopefully. Hopefully I didn't misjudge the situation. I might have. And this road entrance is is nothing to shy about. Oh well, the mountains. And we had enough. Just enough. Beautiful. So this is 2 fields fertilized with our manure. We could do more if we had our cows in the barn throughout the year, but you know what? I think this is also pretty good. I wonder how much we're gonna get paid for using this, how big the reward is gonna be. So in any case, this is going to be it for today. Thank you all for watching. Hope you had fun. Join us next time where we continue this very tough adventure. Take care and goodbye.